Hey friend, and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a super fun video for you, and that is this winter A-frame stitch along pattern, and we'll just call this a little Christmas gift from me to you. And so down below you can find the free pattern download and then follow along with this video for the stitching instructions. I'm super excited. I hope you are too, and let's go ahead and jump right in. To get started with this project, I am watercoloring my windows black. And to activate watercolor paint, what you want to do is smear your paintbrush in some water and then smear that onto your black paint and then smear that onto your fabric on the windows. And no need to worry about painting this picture perfect, because if you get a little bit outside of the lines, we're actually just going to stitch around the windows, and so there's no stress here to make it look perfect. Now I'm going to stitch the entire face of the A-frame, and this is going to act as the base layer. So here I'm using DMC embroidery floss number 3863, and I'm using 3 strands of it, and as you can see I am using the satin stitch. Now that my base layer is complete, I am using 1 strand of DMC embroidery floss number 839 to create some straight stitches. And I'm making these straight stitches equal distance, and they are going vertically to create or mimic the timber lines that are on an A-frame. Next, I'm using 3 strands of DMC embroidery floss 839, so I'm just using the same thread as the previous step, and I am satin stitching this door vertically. Now I'm just adding 2 straight stitches to kind of cap off the top and the bottom portion of the door. Here I'm using 3 strands of DMC embroidery floss 3863, and I'm satin stitching the steps to the cabin vertically. Then again, I'm going to use 2 straight stitches to kind of divide these steps like we just did on the door. For the chimney pipe, I am using 3 strands of DMC embroidery floss 844, and I am satin stitching it vertically as well. For the roof of the A-frame, I'm using these same threads, and I am satin stitching diagonally on both sides of the roof. Here I'm just adding a simple straight stitch to kind of fill in that top spot. Using the same threads of DMC 844 and 3 strands, here I am straight stitch outlining each of the windows, and then I'm also adding the crosses in the windows, and this adds just such cute and pretty little detail. This is one of my favorite parts, and I think it really helps add extra character and like bring the cabin more so to life. To embroider this front bush, I'm actually combining threads. So here I used 2 strands of 3051 and 2 strands of DMC 3052. So I took 2 strands of each and I combined them to create a 4-strand total combo, and I think this just creates a little bit of a fun color, and so you can see the different pops of the light green versus the dark green. And I'm just going to stitch this entire bush. For this stack of firewood, again, I'm using some different color combos here, and so here I used 1 strand of DMC embroidery floss 3863 and then 1 strand of DMC embroidery floss 839. So I put both of these together to create a 2-color combo, and what I'm doing is just satin stitching each little circular log, and I'm doing some like horizontally, some vertically, and then some diagonally, going different directions to look like a nice fireplace woodpile. For the perimeter of these logs of wood, I'm using 2 strands of DMC embroidery floss 844, and I am using the stem stitch. To get started on the wreath, I'm using another color combo, and so here I'm using 2 strands of DMC embroidery floss 844 plus 1 strand of DMC embroidery floss 3863, and so this gives some nice two-tone wooden type looks, and I am going to use the stem stitch around for the wreath as it helps give a nice perimeter and a nice base to it. Once the base of the wreath is complete, I am now going around with 3 strands of DMC embroidery floss 3051, and I'm just creating some little straight stitches that mimic what the evergreen pines would look like on a real wreath. To further fluff this wreath up, I'm going to use 2 strands of DMC 3052 and just repeat this same straight stitch pattern to add some more color and to make it a little bit more fluffier. I think this is looking so good. I love that little wreath and the little detail it adds. And if you have been enjoying this video, would you go ahead and hit that like button? And I think this is a perfect spot to end our video for this week, our stitch along, and we'll pick it up again next week as we've completed the majority of the A-frame cabin, and next week we'll focus more so heavily on the landscaping. I really do hope you join me for that, and if you want to be on the lookout for that, you can go ahead and subscribe so that you are sure that you don't miss it. I've had so much fun with this, and I hope you guys have too. And until part 2, my friends, happy stitching part 1.